Okay. So what's up? Uh it's in the background. I'm starting a new genre piece of the puzzle for my YouTube channel. That piece is geography and alternate scenarios. Credits to EddiePych because that's my inspiration. Also check out A Norwegian. He's pretty cool as well. I'm gonna post this type of content like maybe once every other Saturday or something like that. Let's not get started yet, but I just wanted to give an introduction to not only mapping. I wouldn't say I'm a diehard part of the mapping community, but I am kind of in there a little bit. I know, I'm a nerd. But basically, this is going to be a series based off of It Is Pro's What If Civilization Started Over. It's nicknamed Wisco. So mine is called What If Civilization Started in Reverse. I have a story outline for the first two episodes. This is going to be the introduction and the first episode. Not going to lie, the first few episodes are probably not going to be that long. The first ones, not a lot is happening. So, you know how everything started over here in this area, like Mesopotamia was the first civilization, and it was said that there was a bunch of people down in Africa. Obviously, there was natives in a bunch of other areas, but it was mainly Africa and the Middle East that had most of the people in the beginning. That's where first like civilization started. In this series, instead, it's going to be starting. Oh crap, my arm cuts off. But it's going to be starting right there in the middle of America, right there. Middle America is going to be the starting point of this world, this universe. It's not civilization starting over, though. It's a bit different. All right, I've been rambling a little too much. Let's get started. All right, I'm back. I need to show up with the first civilization, obviously. Now, if you don't know what software he uses, that I'm also going to be using in this video and all these type of videos, it's called paint.net. Make sure the download for it is very sketchy. Just be careful when you're downloading it. We're gonna we're gonna start like let's see right there in that region. So they're gonna start coast of this area. I think I can't remember what's over here. This is a terrible place to start for me to name it because I just don't know what's in this area. I know like uh never mind. I forgot like everything about this area. But they're going to be making pretty good progress. They're expanding pretty well, and they start like kind of expanding this direction. They go west and they meet up with whatever this uh, lake thingy is. They meet up with it and they kind of just expand across the shore. So we have our first civilization. Now, I would like to show you guys there are multiple layers to this thing. So we have this, which is just the normal map and stuff. And if I turn this off, you're gonna notice, obviously, there's no gray. The map is white. This map right here is the religion or ethnicity map. It's not gonna be ideologies. I'll probably add that later. I also have a provinces thing. They're not established yet, so there's no provinces. There's like sections, I guess. There is like regions and stuff, but it's not completely official. And then we also have major cities, which major cities are going to be smaller yellow dots. If you watch It Is Pro, you'll know about that. And then the capitals will be big yellow dots. This is so early in civilization that like they don't have all that stuff figured out yet. They're just normal people. well, not actually. They're like in absolute chaos, like how Mesopotamia was. Each of these sections are like battling each other. So it's not really your average country that you would know from the real world. We're gonna start another country over here in. Again, I have no idea. We're just gonna be starting another group. They're gonna be like fighting. This one, for some reason, has a lot more people, but with having a lot more people means a lot more fighting, and that's exactly what happens. So they may be bigger and have more people, but they are also losing all of those people. There's also no religion or ethnicity yet. I mean, these two are of the same ethnicity because they're in the same region. They are created. However, you imagine these people were created. These people probably, since they don't have religion yet, they just don't think about it. Probably Mesopotamians had gods, but these guys do not because they're not that advanced. All right. Speaking of that, even though I just barely said that they don't have religion, they're going to install a religion. Their religions are going to look exactly the same as the countries do, since that's like where they originate from. It'll be cool to look at them later on because we'll have different colors and you can kind of figure out where they came from based off of what shade of color. These are going to be the only nations that exist in the world. But I'm going to real quick introduce a third one. They're just going to be starting down here. They're going to be expanding a lot. And who knows why. They really just have like a bunch of people. However, they are the least advanced since they're the newest. Also, I'm going to mention these guys are also, they just have no religion. They just believe that they just exist and they're just chosen. These three countries have no idea each other exist, which may or may not be ending soon as the red team slowly creeps its way over here. And that eventually leads to a meetup, and they fight a whole lot, and they are like taking each other's land. The yellow team, even though they're less advanced, the red team just sent like random slave people over to here. So yeah, they're not very good at fighting. But once they take their military, they're gonna wipe the yellow team straight off of their area and kick them back. And eventually, we're gonna find out that these people are not just like a tribe because they have met a few couple like tiny tribes, but this is not just a like a more advanced tribe. This is a country or nation. Meanwhile, while all this chaos is happening, the blue team eventually they don't have kings and queens yet, but they have the person that's leading. I'd say that these guys are like they run like Egypt does, and they have like their pharaoh, I guess. That guy is just like saying, "Stop killing each other, stop making a bunch of ruckus." The government is the only one allowed to do that. The government's kind of corrupt, but it's a more stable country and people can actually live there. The red country is going to expand, and they're like, okay, well, we found a country, but if we take them out soon, then we won't have to deal with them. This bottom half is going to form a um, religion because they realize there's no way we just showed up here by chance. We had to have come from somewhere, and so the their religion is they think this one guy that they found in the middle of a forest is the creator. In reality, he just went absolutely nuts and crazy because he was all by himself, had no human contact. He couldn't speak any language, and um, he just he didn't know where he was or what he was doing. We're gonna witness this religion grow. His values and beliefs are just weird because he doesn't know where he is, doesn't know what he's doing. The red team is also going to be taking their religion and putting like churches and stuff. I'd say this one, it doesn't have like churches like that we have, but they have like buildings of worship. They're going to be putting it down here, especially down here because there's a lot of stuff. They're eventually going to completely install it throughout their whole nation again. A problem is going to happen is these two are still at war. Like the red team is still invading into these guys. They're not really like officially at war because that doesn't quite exist yet. They're just fighting. There's no signing, there's no deals, and there's no like rules. This is the least corrupt government, I'd say, but they're just doing their job and invading these people because, you know, they don't know who these people are and they don't want to know who these people are. And their idea is they get rid of this other civilization, then they'll be okay because they won't have any issues. They'll be the only people and will be able to control the whole world. It's going to start getting a little bit problematic as the red team invades into these guys, which before it was fine because they didn't have a religion, so there wasn't any conflicts with like their infrastructure or like there wasn't any problem with putting churches and stuff in there because there were none. Now, if we look at the difference between the two maps, there's still yellow there in the religion. So they're going to be in the part that was initially no religion. They're going to be able to easily put their stuff there, but they're going to have some issues because there's people who are already believing something. They don't have the strength to assimilate these people, but they try anyways, and they manage to do some interesting things to these people because these guys' religion is the first person who founded this nation. He's their god. But these people are like, there's no way that you're just doing this casually, and they happen to be the people who were invading. So they're actually it's isn't a separate country, but it's going to be a differing religion. They've just broken away, and they believe in the brother of the guy who founded this. Who this brother is the one who is founding this religion. Religions are getting complicated. We're seeing a few issues with the red team as they expand. They're going to completely eradicate the yellow team's country, but again, their religion is still there. They're going to continue exploring and taking land down here. They kind of fill this gap right here. And meanwhile, while all of this religion stuff was happening, these guys' religion, they probably just again believe in the guy who founded it, which this was probably, I'd say this is like a group of four people, so they have four gods because it was four people who founded this. But while all that religion was happening down there, uh, they were expanding. They even have like this sort of spike down here. But the red team sends their people to discover and take land up here, and they kind of just brush across the initial borders, and they meet up with the blue team explorers. And we saw what happened with the red and the yellow team, and now it's happening again with the red and blue. What's going to happen? We're going to see the red team make an invasion. They're just flooding these explorers, and this time they're prepared, so they're sending all of their military up there. It's creating pockets of people, and everybody's scared because like these people just show up out of nowhere and then start invading and taking their stuff and destroying their
And eventually, the blue team gets their stuff together and takes all of it back instantly, and then also proceeds to fight back all of this. And they're both in shock that each other exist because, like, blue team had no idea that there was a country down here. Red team knew that there was the yellow country, but they thought that those were the only two countries that ever existed. Now there's another one. Now the red team is starting, especially the differing religion down here. They're starting to think that maybe there's a whole lot more countries, which there isn't, but they're thinking if the world is bigger than what we think it is, then maybe that also applies to there being more countries. The government of the red team really doesn't care about those stupid philosophers that keep on yapping in the corner, and they send them all down here because they have no idea to do with this, which eventually we see this starting to pop up in other areas because they're just heavily questioning what is happening. Now, the religion is staying over here for the blue team simply just because, I don't know, the blue team is not very good at building their religious stuff. They just they like building super fancy stuff, and they can't do that if it's new places and they don't have all that stuff. It's a very complicated first episode. I think maybe these first episodes will be long. I don't know. I've been recording for a long time, but I'll be editing a lot. So, whatever. The next thing. All right. So, these are now, like actual nations. These two are going to stop fighting. Like, be, they're two leaders, which also happen to be the two sons of. So, there's the four gods, and the son of the. So, it was four gods. Three of them were virgins, I guess, and one of them, they were the only one who had a child, and that child became the new leader. Um, and the leader of this country, had a son, and that was the heir. These two leaders are going to meet up with each other, and they're going to explain each other's religions. They're going to get really confused about it, um, but they're also going to be intrigued. And so eventually, they start talking and they kind of, in a way, not completely friends, but they kind of do. They improve their relationships. So now these two have stopped fighting, and the populations of both of these countries are like, what are you doing? These people are not supposed to exist. But the leaders of these countries don't care, and they're just going to continue doing what they have been doing for the past, I'd say, like 50 years now. Yeah, these people have escalated in power pretty fast. But let's say 50 years pass, and for some reason, every single time they send their explorers out, they die every single time. So they've kind of, their exploration has gone to a halt. So they're instead just going internally and fixing things, I guess, which eventually allows them to become more sophisticated. That leads to the first provinces, which I'll create here shortly. After a little bit of time that I've taken, they have, and the time that they have taken, they have managed to create a set of provinces that look like this. It gets slightly smaller on the more population dense areas. They may not have capitals and major cities. This is the first province of the red team, and this is the first province of the blue one. So, yeah, those are the capitals, but they're not official. They just are the biggest cities right now. They're also not cities, they're really just villages that are big and have a lot of people. Now, you may be asking, like, how'd you make most of these? Like, what caused you to make most of these? Well, I randomly did them, but there is a few lines that have a reason. Obviously, there's the borders um, that make the provinces. Um, and then there's also differing religions that make different provinces. And the red team decided they would make a section and would make sure that that had one strict religion. This, if this was all under one religion, this would probably be uh, right here. This would probably be one state, but it isn't because there is two different religions here. It's the grandson of the god now, and that guy, the grandson, respects this the leader of this country. Uh, he just respects the religion. He understands that they're different. That's fine. They just don't respect these people because they follow the a crazy dead man, and follow a book that he wrote. That just makes no sense, but to them, I guess it does. Overall, I'm pretty happy with how these provinces turned out. Obviously, like this is these provinces will never change unless a government physically forces a difference between two provinces. As I was saying about the whole uh, yellow team issue, the the yellow religion issue, the orange religion now understands where the red religion was coming from. This religion makes no sense. They want to get rid of this. They kind of and along provinces following the rules, they managed to um, cause some issues in this area, and suddenly there's one less province that is under this religion, and that just instantly sets off an alarm because the yellow religion is kind of cooked if they lose any more of their stuff. So they are going to be declaring their independence. This is going to be the first rebellion in history, which is obviously that's a pretty crazy thing to just happen out of the blue, but it's happening. The first religion, it's now here, and they're breaking away, and they're taking over this province that was taken away from their religion. However, the red team religion is, or not red, the orange team religion is still there, so it's a little bit iffy. But they're gonna continue to invade into the thing, and these people like they snapped. They're not messing around. They snap back, and then they start exploring more, and they find because these guys were kind of suppressed by uh, the red team not believing that these guys would be able to do anything. They stopped, and they also just didn't want to explore down here. They didn't. They just didn't bother. So now the yellow team has more land, and the red team is going to be taking back its land because like they don't want the orange team to be gone, but they're kind of just gonna let the yellow team exist for now because they really don't have the materials right now to be dealing with this. So that's that. First rebellion in history is made. Coming back from this, the red team can't. They're not going to be able to invade these guys because they just found new resources over here. Don't know what, but they found better resources over here, and they're using that, and they're becoming stronger than the red team is. They're also able to move down here and stuff. So the red team is at a major disadvantage, and they just start trading with the blue team, which is the first tradings that ever happened. Instantly, because of all the resources they found down here, they're able to completely cover their lands in all of the stuff. Their churches are still here, but it's not the same religion, and the people here kind of moved into here, and the yellow team is just like, get out, just get out of there. So they retrieve that area of religion back into their own, and that's basically it. Now that they are a little bit more sophisticated, I'm going to finally tell you why the map is gray instead of white. If you watch the Ada's Pro series, you would know that the gray means undiscovered land. Also, can you see this difference in color? I need to fix that. I had like a previous thing or something. I don't know. I had previous countries on this map to test out this idea, and obviously the borders did not match up, or the colors did not match up. But now the white on, oh gosh, bro, I'm gonna crash out. The white on the map means it's explored lands. It's not a white team. This is lands that they've sent people out to explore, and now it's explored. The red team is also going to pick up on this idea and have individual explorers, which they kind of had before, but in reality, it was just their army. But now it's like there's explored land instead of them just going in there and taking everything they find and claiming it as their own. But as you can see, there it is. This is what the map looks like now. Well, that will be it for today's video of what if history started in reverse. We've obviously made on the map almost no difference. You just have to really focus in order to see this. If you just look at the middle of the map, it's barely noticeable. But this is a lot of progress. I've introduced to you this whole thing that I'm doing, and I hope you guys enjoy this series. I hope you enjoyed this specific video. Make sure to just casually support me. Just, the usuals, like, subscribe. Leave a comment of, like, some things I can improve on and stuff. I need a lot to edit, 41 minutes. But, yeah. See you guys. I don't know what to put here, so goodbye.